Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Bible study today. In our Bible study today, we'll be putting our focus on the book of John, with central focus being John chapter 2. As we embark on studying the book of John chapter 2, we are introduced to the first miracle that Jesus Christ performed, which marks the beginning of his miracles. Here, we encounter a situation in a wedding where wine has run out, and therefore signaling probably dampening of celebrations. However, with Jesus being present in the wedding, this is not supposed to happen. This is because the book of John chapter 15 highlights that Jesus Christ came that we might have joy and have it in fullness. Or rather, that the joy that we experience in the presence of Jesus is supposed to be complete. So, even in this wedding where Jesus is present, the joy or the celebrations are supposed to have joy in its complete form. Mary, the mother of Jesus, understood Jesus best, having been informed about him by an angel about the nature of the child, that is, the child Jesus that she would conceive and bear, as marked in Luke chapter 1. She knew that he was indeed God and had the ability to provide in times of need. With this knowledge, she asked Jesus to address the need miraculously, which he did, and the festivities continue in the wedding, or the celebrations continue in the wedding. This first miracle not only reveals his glory or the glory of Jesus, but also served to strengthen the belief and faith of his disciples. We can see that even today, God works miracles in both private and corporate lives or public spheres, sometimes through his servants as seen in churches and also in individual lives. However, in every instance or in every miracle, glory should be attributed to God alone and not the individuals that perform the miracles or any other person. In this instance, for example, we know that Mary did not gain followers because she gave birth to Jesus or asked him to provide wine or to perform the miracle that provided the wine. It follows that servants of God must always direct others to God, even when they perform the miracles, since it is God who has enabled them to perform the miracles, but not themselves. Similarly, while attending church and fellowships, the attendees or the congregants must learn not to elevate preachers, bishops, prophets, or pastors above God, no matter how huge the miracles they perform. They must always remember that without God, they cannot perform those miracles, but above all, the design for God's creation is that human beings are supposed to worship Him. In verses 13 to verses 34, Jesus restores order in place of worship, particularly the temple. This emphasizes that his Father's house or the house of God should not be a place of doing business or a place of commerce. During the continuing conversation, we also see Jesus symbolically foretelling his death and resurrection in 3 days. So, Jesus' actions or the actions of Jesus in cleansing the temple serve as a reminder for us to approach the house of God with reverence, so that we ensure that worshiping God remains the sole or the only activity in His church or in His temple. As such, we must not do other businesses or businesses that are contrary to the design of God for His temple, or as we would say in modern day, essentialist. This text should prompt reflection within the modern day church, where numerous preachers have turned God's house into centers for profit in varying ways, a central way being preaching prosperity gospel, that is, gospel that does not uplift the congregants or does not even draw people to God, but only draws people to themselves. That is the preachers that are preaching the prosperity gospel. At the same time, this serves as a call for Christians or congregants to exercise discernment and test the teachings of preachers, as highlighted in 1 John chapter 4, verses 1, which says that, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. The kind of false prophets that we are speaking about here include false preachers, false bishops, and numerous or the like that preach themselves, or whose main reason for preaching is the money that they are getting from their preachings than the gospel or the actual word of God that they're supposed to be preaching. As a Christian, we must always test the spirits to compare whether they are teaching are in line with God's stipulated guidelines as written in the Bible, rather than blindly accepting everything proclaimed, especially in the face of doubt. We must always be like Bereans, who went to look and find whether whatever was said was in line with what is stated in the Bible. Thank you for watching. Let us interact again in our next Bible study.